Hi and welcome to this new video. Today we are finally going to take a look at the brand new JBL Pulse 3. Actually, many people in the US already got it, as it was released a bit later in Europe here. But another good information, it will be the other way around with the boombox, because it's rumored to be released in Europe first, so that the people in the US have to wait longer. Of course, it would be really fair if the JBLs would be released everywhere at the same time, but maybe it's because of quantity issues. But now we got one here, and let's take it out of the box. Okay, I also received free headphones, which is really nice. Maybe I'm going to use them, whatever. And let's put away the packaging. Also the headphones aside. And let's see the speaker here. Wow, finally it is here. I'm so pumped to unbox the speaker, because there were many videos and yeah, none of them really, I don't know, said anything which was the same. So some said, yeah, treble is really bad. Some said bass is much better than on the Charge, which would be really weird as the Charge is a really bass-focused speaker. Some said, yeah, it sounds totally crappy, it distorts after 70% volume. So this time, or today, we are going to clear up with those things here. And I'm obviously doing my typical sound check for the speakers. Let's see. Alright, there still is some tape. Let me cut this open with a knife. So now I have my knife right here. And let's cut this open. I ordered it at JBL.com and they said that it will be delivered in 1 to 3 days. Well, it arrived here on the latest or on the last day. But now let's focus on the speaker here. Again, really nice, typical JBL packaging. Looks really cool. Let's open this up here. And here we already have the speaker. Alright, let me focus so the camera doesn't focus on this all the time. Alright, now the speaker should be in focus. And let's take out the speaker here first. Wow, it's a pretty big and hefty speaker, so it's definitely, I know, bigger than the JBL Charge 3. But let's put this aside quickly. And let's see what we have next in here. Again with this kind of finish, which, yeah, I don't know, some letters, L, B, S, whatever. Looks quite nice. And let's see, I think, yeah, just a wall plug and a micro USB charger. Sadly, no USB Type-C. It would be really nice if you had one charger for all devices, but it's okay with a speaker. And let's close this up again. I can already smell. It smells really, really fresh. And let's close this again. Put this aside. And let's check out the speaker here and unwrap it. Well, where's the start? I think at the top here. Let's just get this open. And here it finally is. This is the brand new JBL Pulse 3 in my hands. And I'm really, really excited for a sound check. Wow, it's actually much bigger than expected. Like, this thing is huge. And also the lights look really nice. So if it doesn't sound good, I just give it to my mom, as she would probably really like the lights. At the top and at the bottom we have the passive radiators in the JBL Flip 4 style. Let's put this aside as well, or just behind me. And let's quickly compare the size against the Flip 4, and you can see there is a massive size difference. Yeah, the JBL Pulse 3 is much bigger. And let's also compare it against the Charge 3, which of course is the, I don't know, brother of it, because it, I think it's almost the same, just that it doesn't have the lights and no 360-degree speaker sound. And I personally prefer the looks of the Pulse 3. I expect it to look cheap or anything, but it looks really, really nice. And yeah, I think there's not much to say. Again, you have the typical JBL lights. I will put into the close-up cam so you can see it more in detail. You can see here's one speaker and two more on the sides here. To give you some kind of 360-degree speaker sound. So now the UE fanboys really have nothing to say against JBL, as this speaker offers anything the UE offers, except for the super ruggedness. Here at the bottom again, passive radiator, and sadly those aren't 3 5cm drivers like you get with a Charge 3. Those are only I think 4 or 4.5 centimeter drivers, so they are slightly smaller, but in overall size they should be a little bit bigger than the ones on the Charge. At the back you have all of the buttons. On and off button, of course, volume keys. I think it also supports JBL Connect Plus, so the new feature to pair it up to the Flip 4. You also have a light button here. It seems like it doesn't have the sensor of the JBL Pulse 2 anymore, where you could hold the speaker onto something and then would change the color. I really love this, I always wanted to have this. The new one doesn't come with this anymore. And underneath this flap here, you get your charging port, micro USB and auxiliary port, so nothing too special here. And well, I would say that I should just put up my head cam and that we should just, I don't know, do a sound check and see how it performs. I'm really so excited. Yeah, that also again smells typical for fresh JBL. Before you ask, I will probably do an disassembly video soon, but just not now, as it is like a brand new speaker and I don't already want to, I don't know, get a risk of damaging it. But now let's turn it on. Oh wow, those lights look really nice. They look like a Philips Hue light. And now it's already in pairing mode, so let's quickly put up your headphones and I will wear my head cam obviously, and yeah, enjoy the sound check. So now let's check it out and let's go to the Bluetooth settings and let's press the pairing button again. And as you can see, it matches, so it lights up blue for Bluetooth and it already appeared on my list here. And let's connect it. And just, yeah, let's right away start with the track here. It's, yeah, quite a funky track, so don't wonder, but later on we will also play some jazz to try out every kinds of music. So let's see. Okay, treble is quite bad. Oh no, actually it's good. You can hear it, there's some reflection from my table, so maybe it's better to place it the other way around, but then the passive radiator cannot move. Well, let's check out one more track here. Like this sounds a bit hollow. Yeah, but it's some nice 360-degree sound. Next, let's maybe check out the JBL Charge 3 as a reference, because this sounds a bit weird. Usually I'm totally blown away by JBL speakers. I mean, it doesn't sound bad, it still sounds better than some UE, but let's see how the Charge 3 will perform against it. So you can see, I always want to check, the passive radiators are, I think, smaller here. I think they have the same size as the Flip 4. Yeah, they are slightly smaller. Although it has 3 drivers this time. Seems like the Charge is not connected. So let's go to the endlessly long Bluetooth list. And here it is. Well, the Charge will have much better bass, but maybe not better treble. So let's check this out again here. This sounds really full-butted. But this sounds a bit hollow, maybe due to the drivers at the back. Driving for 1,000 miles, there's nowhere else I wanna be. With you. This actually sounds really nice. It just sounds a bit different. So you can hear there's something strange in the sound signature which you have to get used to. I will probably do a measurement and maybe you will already see it now, but maybe also in the next video, because I'm assuming there is some upper bass boost, maybe at 100 Hz, maybe at 150, because it doesn't quite sound as subtle as the JBL Charge 3 does, and this would have been of course much better, but it's actually not too bad. So it also has some nice deep bass kick. Let's try out the frequency generator And let's see how deep it reaches, because really no one does this, except for Clarinet Junkie, of course. So let's see. Let's check it 110 Hertz. Yeah, maybe this section is pronounced. Let's try the same on the Charge 3. Yeah, well, this sounds a bit more hollow. Let's check out 100 Hertz. Yeah, I think maybe it has a resonance peak at 100 Hertz, similar to the Wonder Boom, but this actually is only a case with like really small speakers where you need to compensate for some deep bass, but this thing should actually have some deep bass. Let's try 90. Does 90. 80. Yeah, does 80. 70. Yeah, definitely does 70. Let's try 60. Also does 60. Really nice. Maybe 55. Maybe does 55, but doesn't do 50, or maybe down to 53 or 55 Hertz. So it's really impressive. It has some nice deep bass, while the Charge has some bass down to 60 or 65 Hertz, but this bass is also slightly boosted, so it has some, I know, really nice deep bass, but maybe they wanted to compensate for some intermodulation, because the Charge has some intermodulation, and this one might not have it because the deep bass isn't boosted. But now I will just shut up and play one more track, maybe also with the Charge placed like this, and let's check out this track here. Yeah, this sounds more mature. Give me all you got, don't hold me back. I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. But treble and mids are definitely much better on the Pulse, also especially because you have the 360-degree speaker sound with like 3 drivers in this bass right here. So yeah, I think it actually sounds quite nice. Maybe it also sounds a bit hollow due to the different driver layout. This is a convenient one. This one again has this kind of surround sound. Maybe let's check out one more track here. I'm really wondering what they did with the tuning this time. Some heavy bass here. And as you can hear, it sounds really nice. A lot of power to the bass, very similar to the Charge, just not as powerful. So you can hear the bass kick is much stronger on the Charge, but it actually isn't deeper than on the Pulse. So the both, I don't know, have similar bass, just that the Charge 3 is, exaggerates more on the bass, sorry. Difficult word. So the Charge exaggerates more on the bass than the Pulse, but they have equally deep bass. And now the price tag came to my mind. The Charge can already be found for $120, and this one still goes for $250 or 250 euros. This is what I picked it up for. And in my opinion, this price is a little bit steep. 230 for a starting price would have been maybe okay, because you have to keep in mind it has more features than the Charge. And maybe 200 would have been perfect, because it's like the old Pulse. But no, they increased the price by $50, and the sound, well, it doesn't blow me away for $250. For $250 you can already find a Go Play if you want. And of course this is an unfair comparison because the Go Play is much bigger, but it's actually, you know, maybe it's the wrong price class for a speaker like this. $200 or $220 would have been perfect, because then it could drop down to about 170 or something, but 250 maybe still is a bit steep, so you should wait. Or maybe you want better treble than with a charge, and you want the lights, then it's still an okay price. Let's check out one more track here. Well, let's check out one more track here, maybe this one.
You don't have to wait.
Also one notch louder. So it really has some power.
Tell me how you feel.
And this sounds obviously totally covered and just bass focused.
If I could be the wind, I could take you higher. I could steal the sun.
Wow, now I really like the Pulse 3. This sounds much better.
I'll take it to the motorway. Speed, speed racer. Ooh, I wanna take you there. Show you a fancy car. Money maker. I promise we can take it slow. Can I get a witness who can testify?
Yeah, with this track the JBL Pulse 3 sounded way more spacious and the bass was, in my opinion, nicer. Maybe again a little bit less of the upper bass boost and maybe just increase the lower bass by a tad bit, and then would have already been perfect. I don't know, especially for the price point, or not especially, but then it would have been perfect even for the price point. But with this tuning, maybe just slightly turn down the upper bass boost, as it makes the speaker slightly hollow sounding, as if it was standing in some kind of cup or something, but still better treble, better mids down the charge. And again, the, I don't know, advantage of having this kind of surround sound. And of course the lights look really, really nice. And in this track I much preferred the sound of the Pulse, as it sounded way more spacious. Both were about at, I don't know, 45% volume. But again, the JBL volume control is really, really weird, as in the higher volumes it makes really small steps, and in the lower volumes it makes really big steps. Next, let's check out one more track here. And this time I want to check out if it has a boost for lower levels. I'm assuming not, so let's check it out. Yeah, no boost. The charge sounds just as bad. Maybe the Pulse will even sound better, as it has more treble. Yeah, this still sounds better on lower levels, just due to the plus in treble and deeper bass. Yeah, so sadly no boost for lower levels. Let's continue with this track just at higher levels. And here's some nice bass kicks. I can already feel the bass. But it definitely is fun to listen to.
You shoot me high, call me fly. Keep on pushing, but you better don't. That's what I thought, call me back. Hush it now, cross my name and die. Honors in the flag, undenied. Show the shine, with you I'm home.
Yeah, this is just very nice sounding, especially with this track. You just have to get used to the sound. With JBL, you always get surprised. I don't know, you get the JBL Charge 2 and it has a bass or one note bass character and a treble boost at the, I don't know, presence region about 5 kHz. Then you get the Charge 3, it has close to no treble and nice deep bass, which is really, yeah, big and great sounding. Then you get the JBL Flip 3, rather a treble heavy speaker with not that much bass. Then you get the JBL Flip 4, also some slight treble boost, but some great deep bass. It's like so confusing because they always surprise you with their tunings and they do not stay consistent like B&O. They have always the same tuning, but JBL does something new, maybe, I don't know, to surprise their customers. But if you get used to this tuning, you can hear that it really sounds nicely powerful, so it doesn't sound weak or anything. But I would recommend to maybe wait for it to drop, I don't know, down to $230 or $220, and then it's really worth buying, especially with the light features here. There's also a separate app. I didn't download this yet, but you can control all of the lights through this app, which of course is a big advantage. And those kind of lights also aren't cheap. The Sony lights cost like, I don't know, 50 cents or something, but those ones are a bit more difficult to, I don't know, get underneath a speaker. So yeah, it's a pretty good package, maybe not for $250, but definitely for $230. Next, let's check out a jazz track here. The Pulse should have a big advantage here. Yeah, the mids are drowning, the treble is missing. But already here I can still hear this upper bass. We really have to analyze this. With the guitar, it sounds a little bit, I don't know, a bit too, I don't know, blown off or something, I don't know, because the mids are a bit too present. It just hurts a little bit in your ears. It's a bit too loud and doesn't sound linear. Let's check out the JBL Flip 4 as a reference here, so I can show you, because when the guitar comes in with this do-do-do-do, the JBL Pulse 3 sounds a little bit, I don't know, not really linear. Let's try this with the Flip 4 again. This is how it's supposed to sound. The guitar is a tad too loud with the Pulse. Let's check out one more jazz track.
Playing on repeat. When I close my eyes a bit tight, I'm gonna block the memories out. Oh, the night's getting lighter and I'm feeling so worn out. I'm burning up.
So you can definitely hear that the Pulse 3 has some kind of hollow sound character. This is just confirmed now. The Flip 4 even sounds a bit nasal compared to it. Obviously, the JBL Flip 4 has a big treble boost, and I don't have a modded JBL with, I don't know, some plush in it. So it's still the stock JBL Flip 4 with a big treble boost, and this way it sounds, I don't know, even sometimes really hi-fi, because you don't expect this much treble from such a small speaker. But the Pulse 3 just sounds a little bit, I don't know, hollow compared to it. We really have to analyze this, measure it, and then really see which frequency is boosted there and which frequency makes it a bit unlinear sounding. But overall, still no disappointment. It sounds really okay. But let's check out one more bass-heavy track to compare the bass on those two.
Tonight.
Hear much deeper bass with this note.
Cast me far away.
Well, I don't want to play too much because I'm not sure if it isn't copyrighted or something. But you could hear there are some different bass notes, and the deepest one was, or one of them, was sounding way more, I don't know, powerful with the Pulse 3. I don't know, I think those were 3 bass notes, and one of them was really, really good and really powerful with the JBL Pulse 3, while the Flip 4 was struggling and you couldn't hear it. You could also see the radiators move quite a bit more with the Pulse, and this is just because it has bass down to 55 Hz, which of course is really nice. And maybe let's also check out one more other track here. Not sure which one I should pick because yeah, there are quite a lot of them. So let's go to SoundCloud again and let's maybe check out this track here.
See the world through a cryptic mind. Can't say I'm sorry. Wrong and a twisted line.
Now the Pulse sounds better again.
Now this weight is a heavy load. Caught in the middle. I'm a saint with a tainted soul. So tell me what your aim is. You say I'm wrong, so tell me why you're saying.
Again, let's try out this part again with the JBL Flip 4 compared to the Pulse. Again, there was one of those bass notes which sounded really pronounced and really good with the Pulse.
I walk along in a twisted line. Now this weight is a
And it always does some kind of dun dun, and then there's the bass note, and with the Flip 4 you cannot hear it. Let's check out the Pulse.
caught in the middle. I'm a saint with a tainted soul.
This one.
You take along, so tell me what your aim is. You say I'm wrong, so tell me why you're saying I'm a killer.
Yeah, the Pulse plays it, the Flip 4 doesn't.
Hold me closer.
You can hear for modern music the Pulse 3 has a big advantage, maybe just because of power and size, but you can hear the deep bass was way more pronounced with the Pulse 3, which I showed you. I hope that you could hear this bass note, but I can tell you that the deep bass is definitely much better on the Pulse 3 than it is on the Flip 4 and maybe even on the JBL Charge 3, but sadly the bass of the Pulse 3 is boosted in the wrong region, because I think they did something weird. The speaker sounds a bit hollow. Maybe that's due to the driver layout. This could of course be possible, but if I measure it, I will obviously of course make a video for you, and then we will really analyze the frequency response to see where they, I don't know, implemented this boost, which makes it a little bit, I don't know, hollow sounding. It's not bad sounding, but it's a bit hollow sounding. and it makes it worse sounding for jazz music than the Flip 4, for example. So yeah, my overall impression, or my first impression here, which of course isn't safe, is maybe, I don't know, just get those two here. The JBL Pulse 3 for modern music, you have those nice lights, it's fully waterproof, you can, I don't know, get it out with friends because it has some kind of nice surround sound here. And if you get home and you want to listen to some nice jazz music or to some classical music, just get the JBL Flip 4 here because it has some nice treble definition, bass is nicely deep and really flat sounding. And if you are out with your friends, or if you want to make some small kind of party with good lights, some nice deep bass, and you need some loudness, because I'm assuming that the Pulse is a really loud speaker, you should just grab your Pulse and, I don't know, start the party. And I don't know, the JBL Charge 3 is a bit left behind. I can still recommend it for people, I don't know, who don't have that much money left, which is of course typical, because, not typical, but it's really common because not everyone wants to spend $300 on 2 or 1 speaker. And then I can still recommend the Charge, as it goes for $120 or maybe even $110. And if you only listen to modern music and you say, I only listen to, I don't know, rap music, Eminem, modern charts or something, and I don't have that much money to spend on a speaker, I would just say grab the Charge. It's still a nice package, it can charge your device, great battery life. But if you say I have $300 or $350 left and I want 2 really nice speakers, one for jazz music and one for modern music, which I can take out and use every day, just go with these 2. So yeah, this is my first impression of the Pulse. There's some weird sound tuning which they did here. It would have probably sounded way better without it. If it sounded flat like a FIFA, it would have probably been the best speaker in this class. But maybe there's some concept behind it. We have to analyze this in another video, but for now I think this is it. If you liked the video, please leave a like on this video. If you loved it, please subscribe to the channel. Until then, have a great time and bye bye.
All I get is cream, all I get